I think most YouTubers look back at their old content and think to themselves, wow, was I really this bad? That was me yesterday, revisiting my Dear Dev videos. My most recent Dear Dev video was 2 months ago, and in the last 2 months I've changed my opinions on a lot of things. I don't regret making those videos, but if I'm honest with myself, I wouldn't consider those videos good content like I used to. I'll explain further, but for the most part, those videos are either blindingly obvious, poorly communicated, boring, or outright pointless. I know I'm being super critical about myself, but I doubt the dragon from the past would be offended by what I'm saying now. I'm going to look back on these videos now, not with shame, but as a learning experience. Most of you are probably really confused with what I mean, and I get that. The series was doing really well, getting lots of nice comments, likes, and views, but I need to hold myself to a new standard now. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, then let's pick apart every single Dear Dev video and point out the problems. And I've got some exciting news at the end as well, which you might want to stick around for. Episode 1 was about consistency. It starts with a long, pointless introduction about the series. I spend the first 90 seconds talking about how I need to preserve Minecraft and whatever. It's pointless, obvious. The next part of the video talks about consistency in Minecraft, and I think this part of the video was okay. I wish I spent more time pointing out the specific inconsistencies in Minecraft during the video rather than at the end, but it's not awful. Then I talk about telegraphing, and I kinda stand by this point, but also not in a way. I think telegraphing things with text is just a bad way of going about things, and would be better just to be consistent so the players can infer the rules of the game. Then, after the 6.5 minute mark, I waffle on about nonsense, which I should have edited out. Also, I think I annoyed a few people by talking about the redstone in Minecraft, so I won't be doing that ever again. Episode 2 was a review on the 1.11.2 update. Apart from making a lot of weak arguments, I think the video is okay. Episode 3 is just game design 101 and doesn't bring much to the table. I don't think this is a terrible video, but I do believe it was a waste of time. Time that could have been spent pointing out a problem I brushed over in the space of a few seconds, which I'll talk about later. I think the reason why I made this video was to build up a repertoire of concepts that I could refer to in future videos. Except unfortunately I never did that, did I? Episode 4 was about polar bears, and it was probably my favourite Dear Dev video out of the 11 I've made. I say in the introduction that homing in on a specific game feature is something I don't normally do, but that's what I liked about this video. It's specific. It points to a real problem. I cite a lot of other game design YouTubers, and I think I made my point. That's what I think made the argument stronger. It's not a bunch of ambiguous and general thoughts which are mostly obvious. It's an argument with meaning. At the end, I drew a false equivalence with the Enderman and made some points which are weak, but at the end of the day, I think I got the point across. Episode 5 is probably my most disliked video of all time. It's also one of my most liked videos too. I still stand by what I said in that video, but my arguments were incredibly weak. So of course, when I got a lot of criticism, I made a response video which clarifies the weaknesses in my arguments, and so that got 90% dislikes because I think my argument was a bit stronger, even though the conclusion was actually the same. But the first video on its own, I've said this enough, it's weak. Episode 6 is just like episode 3. Not a terrible video or anything, but it's pointless and doesn't bring anything new to the table. It doesn't point out any problems, it's just me having fun in Ideas La La Land, so naturally the video has very little substance. It's like a Watch Mojo or BuzzFeed video. Fun and mindless to watch, but ultimately pointless, and a waste of your time. Episode 7 is me talking about things I have no experience in and have no business talking about. No, really. I'm not even sure if what I'm saying in this video is accurate. I mean, I think it is, but thinking it will work is not good enough. The concept works well with command blocks, but I have doubts that that's the best way of doing things in Java. And because of that doubt, I will not publish a video like this today. Episode 8 is hilarious. It's me angrily talking about how violently and toxically the community handled the combat update. I don't regret making this video, but I don't think it created any real change. The people being toxic about the combat update and going out of their way to violently argue if one is superior or not are either children, have anger problems, or aren't getting a good night's sleep. So why the heck would they listen to me? Don't get me wrong, I think discussion around it is good, but the thing I was addressing in the video was simply the toxicity of the arguments. But they're not going to listen to me. Episode 9 was about 1.12 and had another pointlessly long introduction. I wish I waited until the actual release of 1.12 before making this video, because I think about like 80% of the things I said about parrots changed. It's kind of embarrassing. The rest of the video is okay, but I wish I talked about the parrots more than what I did. Well, in the official version anyway. Episode 10 can be summed up in one sentence. Hard mode needs to be harder. That's it. Most of this video is very obvious information based around this concept. The individual suggestions I suggested are pretty weak. Again, I don't regret making this video, but I think it was another giant waste of time. Episode 11 was me talking about the terrain. The things I say are either obvious, speculation, or probably not possible. It's just like episode 7 but with the terrain instead of structures. So then I posted a response video when I discovered that I didn't consider a very important thing. So yeah, that was a massive oversight I really should have considered. That was just 2 months ago, and it feels like a different person made that video, not me. Over the last few months, I've completely changed as a person, I think. My political opinions have switched. Like, it's all over the place. My opinions about music have changed, and my view on the world is very different to what it used to be. I don't know what inspired this, but hey, we're here now, and I'm moving forwards. So, Dear Devs is ending now. I'm no longer proud of this content, so I'm putting an end to it. Taking a stand. But I want to continue what was good about the series. So, I'm starting a new series called The Problem With. Super original. It's basically going to be like my polar bear video, pointing to specific, real problems, which aren't as obvious, looking closely at the game's weak points and focusing only on those. I'll start making videos like the problem with parrots, the problem with totems, the problem with potions. I can tell I'm gonna have massive peaking problems with my microphone. The problem. Anyway, Dear Devs may be over, but a new and better thing is here to take its place. What do you guys think? Now I need to wait 20 seconds so you guys can see the end annotations and click things. Or maybe you could leave a comment about what you might want to see. Anyway, I think I've waited enough. See ya!